Hi, I'm Angela from Imagine Design Repeat, and today we are diving into the wonderful world of templates. We all know that you can have the best content on the internet, but if your graphics aren't great, no one will ever read your fabulous blog post. Luckily, getting the right graphic is one of the easiest parts of blogging if you have the right tools, and that would be templates. Now I'm going to show you just how simple it is to take a graphic like this and customize it for your next blog post in only a few minutes. This is exciting stuff because it frees you up to get back to writing great content and you're going to look great online. Now, this is a template for Pinterest, but you can also use templates for Facebook, Instagram, pretty much anything. And if you have the social media starter pack, which this design is from, then you already have tons of matching templates for Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. Let's dig in. Now, when you first open a template, very first thing you want to do before making any changes is save it as a new document. You don't want to overwrite your original file. So go to File, Save As, and then go to wherever you want to save the document and just type in a new name. Now you've preserved your original, you can make whatever changes you want to this one. Okay, if you are new to Photoshop, this can all look a bit intimidating. Don't freak out. You really only need to know a few things in order to use these templates. Look over here at the Layers panel. It's usually in the bottom corner. By the way, if you don't see it, go up to Window and Layers so that you can see your Layers panel. And if you'll notice, every single item in our design is on its own layer. This makes it super simple to edit anything you want. Now, I have grouped some of these layers into groups just to make it a little bit cleaner in your layers panel. If you want to see what's in there, for example, in the text group, just click the little arrow and it shows you everything in here. So all of our text, you can easily edit that. You can rearrange layers if you want by just dragging a layer to wherever you want it. And by the way, if you want to undo anything in Photoshop, on a PC it's Control-Z, on a Mac it's Command-Z. One more quick thing, if you want, you can hide layers. For example, let's see what this looks like without this purplish overlay. So we'll just click the little eye icon next to the layer there, and I can see what it looks like without that. If I want to add it back, just click the eye icon again. All right, let's get into making some changes. First off, I want to change this for a whole new blog post. So I'm going to start by changing this 21, and so I'll click that, and then if I click the Type tool, looks like a little T over here, I can highlight it and make a new change. Click the X, or the check mark at the top, and I've made my first change. Simple as that. Another way to change text is if I come over here to my layers panel, double click that thumbnail, and it highlights my text for me. Here we go, quick breakfast ideas for busy mornings. Let me click that check mark, and then I want to change this. So a third way that I can change text is just plain highlight it, and then you can start typing in whatever you want. And I'll click my check mark. And then if you want to change the plus sign to an and or something else, you can do that. Don't forget to change your website down here. Now let's say that we need to tweak this just a bit. For example, let's say my website is maybe too long or too short and it doesn't look right in this size of a rectangle. Not a problem. Let me type in a new website. busybreakfastmornings.com. And now, if you'll notice, this doesn't fit into my rectangle anymore. So I went over here into my tools panel and I clicked the move tool. It looks like a little four-headed arrow there. And now I'm going to go into my layers panel and click the rectangle. It's called the bottom bar. And now I can change the size of the rectangle. I'm going to come over to the side here and start dragging it out. Let me show you a really cool trick. If you will hold the Alt or for a PC or Option on a Mac, hold the Alt or Option key at the same time, and it will change both sides at the same time, which is really, really nice. So I'll take it out however far I need it, do the check mark, and I've just tweaked this design for my current blog. Now let's change out this background photo to something a little bit more suited to quick breakfast ideas for busy mornings. So I'm going to come down, and in this template, the way that it's set up, you want to double click on this photo. And if you'll notice, it opens up the photo in a brand new project. That's what we want. So I'm going to go to my folder that has all of my photos in it, and I'm just going to drag a new photo into my project. And I can make this a little bit bigger if I want. By the way, a quick tip, hold down Alt or Option and Shift at the same time, and it will increase the size of your photo, let you drag it to whatever size you want without distorting the image. Click the check mark, and now I can place this kind of wherever I want in here. And here's the cool thing. If I hit Save, File, Save, and then let me just close this, and look, my image has immediately changed. It's done that without me doing anything else to it. And let's see, if I want to tweak that a bit more, I'll just double click it again, open it back up, just get it down so those strawberries are really going to shine at the bottom. We'll save it again, close it, and now I like that. I can see the croissant, the strawberries, it's all pretty good. So now you know how to change the photo, change the text. Let's change the color of this overlay right here. And an overlay is just a block of color that you can kind of see through it a little bit. I've lowered the opacity on it so that I can see my image through it. So it lays over my background image. And we want to change the color of that a bit. And let's see. So I can, let me show you what I did there. I double clicked on the thumbnail. And so I can choose a color here, or I can go to my swatches panel and just click on a color here. And I kind of like that kind of a beigey tan, just warms it up a little bit. But one other thing I can do to customize it even more for my template, my theme, I'm going to lower the opacity just a bit so I can see that food a little bit more. So it still kind of warms things up a little bit, but I can see that really well. And if you want to see what it looks like with or without, just click the eye icon to hide it or show it. I like it with it, so we're going to keep that. Now let's save this for the internet, and to do that you're going to go to File, Export, and Export As. You can make any changes up here, save it as a JPEG or a PNG, and just export it. Choose whatever name you want, and you're ready to upload it to the internet. And just like that, now you know how to change the colors, the text, the photos, and don't forget, you have matching templates. If you have this pack, you have matching templates for Instagram and Facebook so that you can look all nice and pulled together wherever you go on the internet. Pretty sweet. Now I want to show you two cool tricks that will really take these templates over the top. Here's the first one, smart objects. Now let's say that you have a really cool lead magnet or a free offer that you've worked hard on and you want to show this thing off. Well, let's include it in your graphic. But how do you get it in there? Well, you happen to have a template with smart objects built in, and they're about to make your day. Smart objects are like a lot of things in Photoshop that look all complicated and scary until you actually do it. And then you're like, really? That's it? I can do that. And the reason I know that you can use smart objects is because you already have. Remember back here when we switched out this photo, you double click, add in a new photo, save it and close it out. That's a smart object. That's all that it is. So let's come back over here and we're going to use the same idea, but for a lead magnet, like a PDF lead magnet. So click on your lead magnet here and come over to your layers panel, and you want to double click like we did before. You want to double click on the cover, and it's going to open up a brand new document. So now I want to open up in Photoshop, I want to open up my PDF for my lead magnet. So I'll go to File, Open, go to wherever you have your PDF, And we're going to open that up. And I know that I eventually want to use both pages, so I'm going to go ahead and open them both up. If I hold down the Shift key, I can select both of these. You want to make sure it crops to Media Box and click OK. So right here I have my cover that's just opened up in one document, and then I have my inside page that's opened up in another document. If you'll notice, my inside page here, it's kind of missing the white background. That's okay, we'll deal with that in a minute. So let's come back over here to our Smart Object, which is where I want to put the cover. So I'll come over to my cover, and very difficult, not really, you just drag it and pull it into your Smart Object over here. Let's go ahead and put it in place, and then all you do, File, Save, and when I close that, let's take a look at my image over here. Ta-da! It's even got the little shadow, it's kind of twisted, it's really cool, and I didn't have to do a thing to it because it's built into the template. So one down, let's do the second one. And so we'll click on this, come over to your Layers panel, and you want page 2, double click to open that up. Okay, now let's see, here's my cover. I'm going to close that up just to kind of keep things clean and tidy up here. And I'll go to my page 2, which I've already opened. I'm just going to take it like I did before, drag it over into my Smart Object, and then put it in place. Now remember, it was missing a white background. Not a big deal because this already has a white background. So just like before, File, Save, and then I'll go ahead and close both of these up, and ta-da! Look at that. In just a couple of clicks, I have a really professional image here, including my free lead magnet. This kind of an image is great for Pinterest, so start pinning away. All right, here's that second trick I promised you, and this one is really fun. Now I'm using an Instagram template this time just to switch things up a bit, but there's a matching pin and Facebook graphic for this in the template pack. Now, some fonts have a secret world of extra letters built into them called alternate glyphs or alternate characters. And this particular font is one of them. This font is called Stay Classy. All that means is that instead of having one letter option, I have several. And that's really useful with a handwritten font like this because it means I can have different S's or different T's. It just really helps me customize it and makes it look handwritten. So in order to use this, you want to open up your Glyphs panel. So we'll go to Window and Glyphs. And you have all of these letters right here. So let's say, for example, that I want to switch out this T to be a different T. I'll go over to my Type tool, highlight the T, and I can either see all the T's over here, or I can go down here and see all of my options here. By the way, if a letter has glyphs or has alternate characters to it, then you'll see this kind of shaded portion at the bottom once you highlight it. So let's try this one. That's kind of nice. And see, once I click the check mark, you can see I've just kind of changed up the style a little bit. I can do the same thing so that I have a bit of a different S. And I'm just starting to kind of change it up, customize it, make it look more like it's actually handwritten. One more cool thing about glyphs is that they can have double letters included in them. So like this MM. Now in a handwritten font, you're never going to have two identical M's or two identical T's or something like that right next to each other. They're going to look a little bit different. And this font has a double M glyph built into it. So if I highlight that M, and then I'm going to scroll down because usually, not always, but usually the double letters are at the bottom. So I'll scroll down until I find, there it is, MM. And I'm just going to double click that, and look at that, it inserts it right there. So let me get rid of my extra M. And if I click on the check, you can see now it looks like these two letters are kind of attached together. So it's not two identical letters sitting right next to each other. Usually you can also find these for like a double B right here. Here's a TH, a BM, or an FF. This particular font has a bunch of fun things to play around with. And that's it. Now you know all you need to have really fabulous graphics, and better yet, you can get back to doing what you love, building your blog and business and helping your audience. You do amazing work, and now your graphics can finally match up to that. Have fun designing.